So what happens when an entire empire gets backed into a corner and decides, you know what, forget defending, let's gamble? Today, we're going to talk about a decision made by a young Chinese emperor that almost bankrupted his entire nation. But in the process, he accidentally created the most famous trade route in history and literally redrew the map of the world. This is the big question, right? It's what haunted China's leaders for a solid century. How on earth do you beat an enemy that can strike like lightning and just vanish into the massive northern steppe? For the young Emperor Wu, this wasn't some thought experiment. It was a full-blown existential crisis. Okay, so you have to picture this. When the super-ambitious Emperor Wu takes the throne, he doesn't just inherit an empire. Nope, he inherits a century of total failure. For 100 years, every emperor before him had tried and failed to solve this one massive problem on their northern border.
And here's the problem, the Xiongnu. Now, don't think of these guys as just some random raiders. This was a sophisticated and incredibly powerful confederation of tribes. They were masters of mounted archery, meaning their cavalry could sweep in, plunder entire settlements, and be gone long before the Han armies could even get their boots on. They weren't just a pest, they were a genuine threat to the empire's survival.
For decades, the Han strategy was basically just to pay the Xiongnu to go away. Seriously, they sent enormous shipments of silk and grain. They even offered up Han princesses in these political marriages. And of course, they built walls. And what was the result? A complete and total failure. The bribes were taken, sure, but the raids just kept coming, leaving the empire feeling weaker and more humiliated every year. So Emperor Wu gets on the throne and just says, enough. That's it. Appeasement had failed. Defense had failed. It was time for a plan so radical, so audacious. It was time to stop thinking about walls and start thinking about the massive world that lay beyond them. And the idea he came up with was, well, kind of brilliant in its simplicity. Why keep building walls to keep the Xiongnu out when you could just go around them? Find their enemies, make them your allies, and crush the Xiongnu from both sides. This wasn't just a new tactic. This was a complete revolution in how China saw itself and its place in the world. And I mean, this pivot was absolute. Every single passive defensive policy thrown right out the window. It was replaced with an active, aggressive one. Bribes became alliances. Building walls became launching military campaigns to actually secure and control territory. This was a whole new playbook for a new kind of empire. So how does this grand strategy kick off? You might think with a giant army, but no. It started with a single diplomat, sent on a mission that sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. Emperor Wu sent his envoy, a man named Zhang Qian, with this unbelievable directive. Travel deep into the unknown far west, find a people called the Yuezhi, and convince them to join China in an alliance to destroy the Xiongnu. But Zhang Qian's journey, man, it turned into this epic saga. He was almost immediately captured by the very people he was trying to outflank, the Xiongnu. They held him for 10 years. He eventually escaped, kept going on his mission, got captured again, and then finally made it back to China 13 years after he left. Now, he totally failed to get that alliance, but he came back with something that turned out to be way more valuable. A treasure trove of intelligence. Details about the people, the geography, the trade goods, everything about Central Asia. Zhang Qian came back empty-handed on the diplomacy front, but his intelligence confirmed one crucial thing. The West was the key. And if a friendly handshake wouldn't work, well, then force was the only option left. What came next was one of the longest, most brutal military campaigns of the entire ancient world. And this is what they were fighting for, the Hexi Corridor. Look, it's just a narrow little strip of land, but it was everything. For the Xiongnu, it was their forward operating base for raids into China. For the Han Empire, it was the only real gateway to the West. Whoever controlled this corridor controlled the future. This was no quick war. It was a grinding, bloody, decade-long struggle. The whole thing kicked off in 127 BCE when Han armies managed to get their first real foothold. Then a series of huge, brutal battles in 121 BCE pushed the Xiongnu further and further back. And finally, in 119 BCE, a massive all-or-nothing campaign completely broke the back of their power in the region for good. So, victory. The corridor was theirs. The war was won. But at what cost? And this is where the story of Emperor Wu's incredible gamble gets, well, really complicated. The sheer scale of what they did is just staggering. We're talking about more than 300,000 soldiers mobilized. But look at that second number.
Over 100,000 horses lost. For an empire where a good horse was basically a military tank, this was absolutely devastating. Each one of those was a critical military asset, and they were burning through them on a massive scale.
And then there's this number, 75%. Let that sink in. For decades, 3/4 of the entire government's revenue was poured into these wars. This meant skyrocketing taxes, state-run monopolies on things like salt and iron, just widespread economic pain for everyone. The empire won the war, yeah, but it was pushed right to the edge of bankruptcy.
So let's just lay it all out. Here's the final balance sheet. On one side, you have a treasury that's been completely drained, staggering losses of both people and animals, and a population crushed by taxes. But on the other side, a finally secure northern border, total control of that strategic corridor, and for the very first time in history, a direct, protected link between China and the rest of the world. So, was the prize worth the price?
Because you see, out of all this brutal, expensive military conquest came something completely unintended, something that would change the world forever.
With the Hexi corridor now secured by Han forts and military patrols, that route to the west was finally safe. That little trickle of information Zhang Qian brought back became a flood of commerce, of new ideas, of culture, of religions, flowing both ways. The Silk Road was born. And it wasn't born from a trade deal. It was the direct military and political consequence of a war for survival.
When you look back, Emperor Wu's legacy is just immense. He essentially doubled the size of the Han Empire, he neutralized its greatest enemy, and through this relentless, almost obsessive military focus, he accidentally laid the groundwork for one of the most important cultural and economic networks in all of human history. So that's the final question we're left with, isn't it? Was Emperor Wu's massive gamble an act of pure strategic glory that connected the world? Or was it an act of imperial folly that nearly broke his empire from the inside out? In the end, I think the answer just proves that history is rarely, if ever, that simple.